Chapter 1. Why I didn't go to school. Hello, my name is August. I know I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I do ordinary things. I eat ice cream, I ride my bike, I have an Xbox, and I feel ordinary inside. But ordinary children run away from me in the playground, and ordinary people stare at me in the street or at the supermarket. I walk down the street and people look at me, and then they look away. My older sister, Via, doesn't think I'm ordinary. She gets angry if people talk about me or if they stare at me. She shouts at them. She loves me, but she doesn't think I'm ordinary. Mom and Dad don't think I'm ordinary either. They think that I'm extraordinary. I think I am ordinary, but nobody sees it. Mom is beautiful, and so is Via. And Dad is handsome. My name is August. What do I look like? I'm not going to tell you. But it's worse than you think. Here's something not ordinary about me. I have never been to school. People think I haven't been to school because of the way that I look. But it isn't that. It's because I've been in hospital a lot. 27 times in 10 years. I've had a lot of plastic surgery and other things. So my parents didn't send me to school. Mom taught me at home. My last visit to hospital was 8 months ago, and I don't have to go back for 2 years. One day this summer, I heard my parents talking about schools. What are you talking about? I asked. Do you think you're ready for school? Asked Mom. No, I said. I can't teach you much more, she said. You know I am bad at math. What school? I asked. Beecher Prep, near our house. I really don't want to, I said. Okay, said Mom. We'll talk about it later. I didn't want to go, but I knew Mom was right, and she is really bad at math. In the summer vacation, we went to the school to see the school principal, Mr. Tushman. Hi, Mr. Tushman. Nice to see you again, said Mom. This is my son, August. Mr. Tushman shook Mom's hand and then mine. Hi, August, said Mr. Tushman. He looked at me. Not many people do that. I'm very happy to meet you. Your mom and dad have told me a lot about you. What have they told you? That you like to read, that you're a great artist, and that you really like science. Is that right? Yes, I said. I do. We have some great science teachers here, said Mr. Tushman. Now you need to visit the school. I liked Mr. Tushman. Outside the door of Mr. Tushman's office, I could hear children's voices. Suddenly, I was frightened again. I'm okay with little children. Sometimes they say cruel things, but they don't want to hurt you. But older children are more difficult. So I have long hair because then I can't see things if I don't want to. August, said Mr. Tushman, I want you to meet some other 5th grade students. I don't want to meet any kids, I said to Mom. Mr. Tushman looked into my eyes. This is going to be okay, August, he said. These are nice people. And he opened the door. Come in, children, he said, and 2 boys and a girl walked in. They didn't look at me or Mom. They stood near the door and looked at Mr. Tushman. They were frightened, too. Thank you for coming, said Mr. Tushman. I want you to meet August, a new student. He'll be in your homeroom. So, this is August. August, this is Jack. Jack looked at me and put out his hand. I shook it. He smiled, said, Hey, and looked down quickly. This is Julian, said Mr. Tushman. Julian did the same as Jack. He shook my hand, smiled, and looked down. And Charlotte. Charlotte had really blonde hair. She didn't shake my hand, but she waved and smiled. Hi, August. Nice to meet you, she said. Hi, I said, looking down. She had green shoes. Okay, said Mr. Tushman. Maybe you can show the school to August. Take him to your homeroom and then show him the science room and the computer room. Don't forget the cafeteria. The 3 children went out the room. I had to follow them. Jack, Julian, Charlotte, and I walked across a hall and up some stairs. Nobody said a word. We stopped at a door with the number 301 on it. This is our homeroom, said Julian. We have Miss Petosa. She's okay. Julian walked down the hall. He stopped at another door and opened it a little. This is the science room. He stood in front of the door and he didn't look at me. The best science teacher is Mr. Haller. Open the door more so August can see inside, said Jack, and he pushed the door some more. Julian moved out the way quickly because he didn't want to touch me, but he pointed to some of the things in the room. That big thing is the board. Those are desks and those are chairs. I'm sure he knows that, said Charlotte. I have a question, I said. What is homeroom? It's your group. You go there in the morning, said Charlotte. Your homeroom teacher checks that everybody is in school. You see her every day. Do you understand? Yes, thanks, I said. Next, they showed me the theater, Charlotte's favorite place, and the library. Then Julian said, Can I ask a question? Okay, I said. Why is your face like that? Were you in a fire? Julian, said Charlotte. You can't ask that. He was born like that. Mr. Tushman told us. You weren't listening. Come on, August, said Jack. He opened the library door and looked me in the face. I looked back at him and smiled. He smiled too. Julian's a jerk, he said quietly. Were they nice to you? Asked Mom at home. Jack was okay, I said, but not Julian. You don't have to go to school if you don't want to, Mom said. It's okay, Mom. I want to. It was true. Chapter 2, School August. I was nervous on my first day of school. Mom and Dad were nervous too. They took a lot of pictures of me and Via. Via is 14, and it was her first day too at her new high school. Beecher Prep isn't a long way from our house, but I didn't often go near it. I like to stay nearer home because the people in our street know me. We all walked down Amesfort Avenue. Via walked next to me, and Mom and Dad walked behind us. Then we turned a corner, and we saw children in front of the school, hundreds of them, talking or standing with their parents. I kept my head down. Remember, it's the first day, said Via in my ear. Everyone's nervous. Mr. Tushman was in front of the school, talking to parents and students. 1 or 2 girls looked at me and then looked away, but that was all right. Okay, big boy, said Dad. Have a great first day, said Via. She kissed and hugged me. Mom and Dad hugged me too. Mom was going to cry, so I turned and ran into the school. I went up to room 301. There were some children in homeroom already, and Miss Petosa was writing on the board. I found a desk near the middle at the back and sat down. More children came in and sat down, but nobody sat next to me. Hi, August. It was Charlotte. She waved. I saw Julian too, and he saw me, but he didn't speak to me. Someone sat next to me. It was Jack. Hi, August. Hi, Jack. I waved and then I felt stupid. Waving isn't cool. After homeroom, the first class was English in room 321. I walked there quickly and sat at the back. The teacher was writing on the board. Again, nobody sat next to me, but then Jack did. He was talking and laughing with some other children. He had a lot of friends. I looked around the room. Charlotte and Julian were in this class too. Everyone went quiet, and the teacher, Mr. Brown, started to talk. Then he wrote a word on the board. Precept. What does precept mean? Who knows? He asked. Nobody put up a hand. He wrote again, precepts important things to remember. Well, he asked, what are the important things? Some hands went up and Mr. Brown wrote some students' ideas on the board. Homework, family, parents. Soon there were a lot of words on the board. Then he wrote this, Mr. Brown's September precept. It is better to be kind than right. In your books, write the date, and then write this precept by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Mr. Brown told us, I'll give you a new precept every month and we'll talk about it. And at the end of the year, in the summer vacation, you can write your own precepts and send them to me. I wrote down the September precept. I think that I'm going to like school, I thought. Lunch was really hard. Everybody ran into the cafeteria at the same time, talking loudly and choosing seats. I sat at an empty table and waited. I had a sandwich and a drink in my bag, so I didn't need to stand in line for school food. Eating isn't easy for me. I've had a lot of plastic surgery on my mouth, but it's still not right and it looks strange. Some of the children in the cafeteria were staring at me. I didn't look at them, but I knew. Is this seat free? A girl was standing by my table holding her lunch. Yes, I said. She put her lunch on the table and sat down across from me. She had a school burger and cheese, and she started to eat. Yuck, she said. You were right to bring a sandwich. Yes. My name's Summer, she said. What's yours? August. Cool. Summer. Another girl came over. Why are you sitting here? Come to our table. There are too many people there. Come and sit here, Summer said. They're all waiting for me, said the girl, and she walked away. Summer looked at me, smiled, and ate some more burger. Our names go together, she said. Summer. August. Oh, yes, I said. We can make this the summer table. Only people with summer names can sit here. Is there anyone in 5th grade called June or July? She asked. There's a Maya in my homeroom, I said. May is really in spring, but I guess it's okay if she wants to sit here. There's Julian. That's like July. I didn't say anything. Mr. Brown teaches our English class, I said. Why is that like summer? When you go in the sun, you get brown, I replied. Okay, she said. And what about Miss Petosa? I think Petosa is a flower, so it's a summer thing. I have Miss Petosa for homeroom, I said. I have her for math, said Summer. I don't like her much. By the end of lunch, we had the names of 10 children and teachers for the summer table. Is Jack a summer name? I asked. Summer thought for a second. No, she said. But if someone has a winter name and wants to be on the summer table, that's okay. Cool, I said. Summer looked like her name. Her face was brown and she had green summer eyes. Chapter 3. August. Mom always asks me how something feels. Between 1 and 10. It started in hospital 2 years ago, after some surgery on my mouth. They took some bone from my leg to put in my face, to make me look more ordinary. So my face hurt and my leg hurt and I couldn't open my mouth to talk. 1 meant it hurt just a little and 10 meant it hurt a lot. After school, Mom was waiting for me outside. She hugged me and said, How was it? 1 to 10? 5, I said. She was surprised. That's good. We started to walk home. See you tomorrow, August. It was Summer. She was crossing the street. Bye, Summer, I said, waving to her. Who was that? Asked Mom after a minute. Summer. Is she in your homeroom? No, I replied. Did you like your teachers? Yes. What about Julian, Jack, and Charlotte? She asked. I sat next to Jack a lot. How did you meet Summer? Asked Mom. We sat together at lunch, I said. She looks nice. She is. And she's pretty. Yes, I said. We're like Beauty and the Beast. September was hard. It wasn't easy to get up early in the morning, and homework was a new idea for me. I didn't have any free time. Before, I could play a lot, but I couldn't do that now. And school was really difficult. In every new class, I met new children, and they stared at me. They tried not to stare, but I knew. And in the classroom and the halls, they walked around me. They weren't cruel. They didn't say horrible things. They just wanted to look. And sometimes I wanted to say, "It's okay, you can look." After about 1 week, the children in my classes knew about me. And after 2 weeks, everyone in 5th grade did. After a month, the children in the other grades did too. These were big children of 12 or 13. Some of them had strange hair or rings in their noses, but none of them looked like me. I sat next to Jack in a lot of classes, and we had a great time. Jack was always laughing. One day in class, Jack smiled and asked me quietly, "August, are you always going to look like this? Can't you get plastic surgery or something?" I smiled. "This is after plastic surgery." "You really need to find a new doctor," said Jack, and we both laughed a lot. The teacher came over, told us to be quiet, and moved us to different desks. Mr. Brown's precept for October was, "People remember you because of what you do." Someone wrote this thousands of years ago in Egypt, Mr. Brown told us. Most of the children at school were nice to me, but they didn't want to go too near me. In class, they talked to me, but they didn't sit next to me, and they walked around me because they didn't want to touch me. My birthday is October 10th. I like that, 10-10. I usually have a little party at home, but this year I wanted a bigger party. I wanted to go bowling with some friends. "Who do you want to ask?" asked Mom. "Everyone in my homeroom and Summer," I replied. "That's a lot of people." "I know," I said, "but I can't invite some people from my homeroom and not others." "Okay," said Mom. "I'll email all the parents." A week later, I was at home in the living room. I was playing with our dog, Daisy. She's old now, but we all love her. She likes to sleep on my bed, and I like to hug her and have her near me. I talked to Mom about my birthday. "Who is coming to the party?" I asked her. "Jack, Summer, Reed, the 2 Maxes. Charlotte has a dance class, but she will come if there's time. And Tristan has a soccer game. He'll try to come after that." "Is that all?" I said. "That's only 5 people. We asked late," she explained. "And a lot of children had other things to do." "Why isn't Julian coming?" Julian's mom didn't answer. So I don't know. My birthday party was small, but a lot of my uncles and aunts came. The adults were bowling next to the children, and we all had a great time. Chapter 4. My brother August is at the center of the family, and we all understand that. I'm okay with it. I know that August is special. I know that his face hurt after plastic surgery and he needed to sleep. So I always played quietly. I wanted Mom and Dad to watch me play soccer. But usually it wasn't possible because they were taking August to the hospital or to a new doctor. "You're the kindest girl in the world," Mom and Dad said to me. I don't know if that is true, but I don't complain. I've seen August in hospital after surgery and he looks terrible. So how could I complain because I didn't get a new toy, or Mom didn't come to the school play? It's been like this all my life. But it's changing now, I think. I loved middle school because it was different from home. I was Olivia there, not Via. Via is my name at home. And in middle school, a lot of people didn't know about August. I'm always going to have a brother with problems, and I love August. But I want to be Olivia, not August's sister. Now I'm at high school, and the best thing about it is that nobody knows me. The only people I knew already were Miranda and Ella. I've always been friends with them, so they've always known August too. Miranda has been like another sister to August. She always played with him a lot, and they loved to sing together. Miranda, Ella, and I were together all through middle school. We were so excited about going to high school together. But we're in high school now, and things are very different. This summer, Miranda didn't call me after summer camp. Maybe she stayed longer, I thought. But then I looked at Facebook. She was already home, but she didn't call or text me. I texted her and she texted back, but we didn't meet. I met Miranda and Ella on the first day of high school. Miranda looked very different. Her hair was short and bright pink, and her clothes were different. She acted differently, too. She was friendly, but not very friendly. We all sat together at lunch, and she and Ella talked a lot. I didn't say much. I didn't feel that I was in the group anymore. "We're driving you home today," said Miranda at the end of school. "Your mom called. She has to be with August." "Thanks, but I'm okay," I said. I didn't want to sit in a car with the new Miranda, so I went home on the bus. The bus took a long time, and I got home late. "Hi, Via," said Mom as soon as I came in. "How was your first day?" "Okay. Is Miranda with you?" she asked. "No," I said. "She can't stay. We have a lot of homework." "Really? On your first day?" Mom said. "Yes, really," I shouted. "How was August's first day?" "Okay," she said slowly. "What does that mean? Good or bad?" I asked. I was getting angrier. "Good, I think. Via, what's wrong?" "Nothing." I ran to my room and closed the door. Mom came into my room after dinner. She looked tired. "What's the matter, Via?" she asked. "Not now, okay?" I said. "I'll come back at bedtime," Mom said. She didn't come back, but Dad did. "Mom's with August," he said. "Good night." And he kissed me. August came home from school, ran to the bathroom, and threw up. Then he went to bed. At 7 p.m., I went to see him. He was on the bed, looking at the wall. "What's the matter?" I asked. "Nothing," he said. "Is it school?" "Yes." "Teachers, homework, friends?" He told me about Jack and Julian. "They said cruel things about me. I thought Jack was my friend," he said. "August didn't go to school on Friday. On Sunday, I talked to him again. I'm not going to school tomorrow," he said. "I hate school. I'm never going back." "August," I said, "you must go. We all have bad days sometimes. You heard Jack and Julian, but they don't know that. That's great. Don't talk to them, and they won't know why. Or act like a friend, but you know inside that you're not." "Like you and Miranda?" he said. "What?" I said. Miranda called me, he told me. You're not friends, she says, but she's still my big sister. I couldn't speak for a minute. Then I asked, Did Miranda say anything about me? Yes, he replied. She misses you. August did go to school on Monday. Chapter 5. He's a nice kid, Summer. Some kids are so strange. Why are you friends with the freak? They ask me. He's a nice kid, I say. And he's not a freak. You're a good person, said Jimena. I couldn't do that. Did Mr. Tushman ask you to be his friend? Asked Charlotte. No, I want to be friends with him, I said. I sat with August the first day because I was sorry for him. No one was talking to him. He looks very strange, but he's just a kid. It's true. It isn't easy to look at August's face. We always have lunch together, and he doesn't eat very well. But he's nice. I don't feel sorry for him now. I sit with him because he's interesting. This year, the other kids only want to sit and talk after lunch. They don't want to play anymore. And they talk about who likes who and who is cute. August isn't interested in that. He likes to play Foursquare. I love Foursquare too. One day I was talking to Maya. Don't touch August, she said. Why? I asked. You'll get the plague. If you touch August, you must wash your hands in 30 seconds, or you'll get the plague. Everyone says so. That's stupid, I said. I know, said Maya, but I don't want to touch a ball after August has touched it. Another day I was talking to Savannah. How's your boyfriend? She asked. Who? I said. August. He's not my boyfriend. I know, she said. But why are you with a freak all the time? He's not a freak, I replied. Julian really likes you. He wants to ask you out. Does he? Yes, she said. He's really cute, but you have to choose. It's Julian or the freak. August wasn't at school the day after Halloween, but we had lunch together the next Monday. He was very quiet and he didn't look at me. What's the matter, August? I asked. You know, Summer, he said. You don't need to be with me. What? You're nice to me because Mr. Tushman asked you to be, he said. No, I shouted. He did. He did not. August, I promise. Really? Really? I was angry now. Okay, I'm sorry, Summer. He told me about Julian and Jack. But don't tell anyone, he said. I promise, I replied. Before August came to my house for the first time, I told Mom about his face. But when she came home from work and saw him, she was surprised. Hi, Mom. This is August. Can he stay for dinner? I said. Hi, August, she said. Of course. Don't stare at him, I whispered to her. After that, she was really nice to August. We went to my room to do some homework. Then we went into the living room. August was looking at some family pictures on the wall, and one of them was of me and my dad. Is that your dad? He asked. Yes, I said. I didn't know he was black. I never see him outside school. He died 5 years ago. He was a soldier, I said. I'm sorry, Summer, August said. I didn't know. It's not easy. I miss him a lot. After that, August and I were together a lot after school. Mom and I had dinner at August's house twice. His parents are cool, and Mom liked them too. One day at school, Jack asked me a question. Summer, he asked, is August angry with me? He never talks to me. Yes, I said. But I can't say why, I promised. Can you help me? Give me a little idea. he said. I looked at him. I promised August, but I was sorry for Jack. He's a nice kid. Bad behavior, I whispered in his ear. Chapter 6. Friends and Enemies. Jack, in the middle of last summer, Mr. Tushman called my parents. I heard Mom talking to him. What was that about? I asked. They have a new kid at school, Mom said. He doesn't know the school and they want someone to help him. Why me? I asked. Because you're a nice kid, said Mom, and this boy has something wrong with his face. No, I can't do it, Mom, I said. I knew it was a kid called August. I saw him sometimes in the street. He looked terrible. One day I was with my 7-year-old brother, Jamie. We saw August and Jamie was very frightened. Did Mr. Tushman ask any other kids? I asked. Yes, Julian and Charlotte. They said yes. Julian! I shouted. He's a jerk. He'll be horrible to a kid like that. Mom, I know this kid. He's called August and he looks terrible. Jamie came into the kitchen to get a drink. Jamie, I said, do you remember that kid we saw? His face frightened you. Yes, said Jamie. I shouted and ran away. He was so ugly. Jamie started to run about, holding his head and shouting. Mom didn't say anything. She just looked at me. Okay, I said. Call Mr. Tushman. I'll do it. Why did I agree? It wasn't because of Julian. There are always jerks. It was because of Jamie running about and shouting. Jamie's a nice kid. So, if nice kids are cruel like that, August needs help. After the surprise the first few times you see it, August's face is okay. And he's a really nice kid. He's very funny and easy to talk to. He's smart, like Charlotte and Jimena, and he helps me with homework. They don't. At first, I was his friend because Mr. Tushman asked me, but now I want us to be friends. But it was strange. One day, August and I were friends, and the next day he wasn't talking to me. August, are you angry with me? I asked. He walked away, and it was hard because we sat together in most classes. Science was really difficult now, and he didn't help me anymore. One day I asked Summer, "Is August angry with me?" She stared at me for a moment before she answered. "Bad behavior," she said. I didn't understand. Then I remembered the costumes in homeroom. I was talking to Julian. August was there, and I didn't know it because of his mask. I suddenly felt very sick. Later that day in science, I sat next to August and we didn't speak. I wanted to, but what could I say? At the end of the class, Miss Rubin gave us our homework. "You do this in groups of 2, she said. Charlotte and Jimena, August and Jack. After class, Julian came to talk to me. "Jack, do you want to work with me?" he asked. "You don't want to work with that freak." I hit him hard in the mouth. The next day, Mom and I were in Mr. Tushman's office. "Jack, this is very bad," he said. "We may ask you to leave the school. Why did you hit Julian?" "I can't say," I replied. "Jack, you must. I need to understand." I didn't speak. "Okay," said Mr. Tushman. Was he smiling? "It's Christmas vacation next week. You go home and write me a letter to explain. And write Julian a letter to say sorry. And I'll see you in the new year."